Morning, everyone. Ido here, social care manager at Crosscare Homeless Services, member of the board, social care workers board at Carew, and a member of the consultative forum for former residents of mother and baby homes. Haven't been around in a while. My apologies. I was up to my tonsils and I got COVID, and that's kind of knocked me for six for a little bit. But I've been reading all of the posts on the social care worker pages, and interestingly, an awful lot of them over the last kind of 4 weeks have been very much around jobs and applying for jobs or changing careers or, feeling burnt out. All around those topics. So I thought this morning I'd just briefly address the kind of generality of all of that. If you're in an organisation and you're not feeling that you're being supported, the onus is on you as a social care worker to try and make that change. If the organisation is lacking in support, they're not going to make a change. That's the way they are. That's their culture. Excuse me. So you have to drive that change forward somehow. And the first way to do that is insist on having your supervision. Make sure you have your supervision. You hold your supervisor to account. Don't sit back and wait for it to happen. Don't wait for it to happen informally. You go in and say, I'm available this day, and this day for supervision. And then when you have your supervision, make sure that you discuss in your supervision what your concerns are around either the way things are being run on the floor, or the fact that you're being overworked, or any of the interrelationships that are causing difficulties and challenges for you. And make sure that they're written down and then sign off on them. And at your next supervision session, then make sure anything that you have agreed to do is done, or any questions that you've asked are being answered. I hear a lot of people saying that they're swamped with paperwork because of TUSLA or whatever. That's not the way it should be. We're in the job of relationships, really. When we're working in a residential centre, that is someone's home. It's not somewhere where we should just be filling in paperwork all the time. We need to track how individuals are making positive steps in their lives. But we also need to be concerned about how we are interrelating with those individuals. And if that's becoming problematic, that needs to be discussed in supervision. I've seen someone put up something about that when relief people were on duty, the workload was doubled. What I say to the guys on the team that I work in, when you're on a shift and you're on a shift with relief, you are the shift coordinator, so you delegate the workload. That's part of your role then. That doesn't mean you're sitting your ass and doing nothing, but it means that at the start of the shift, you organise the workload between you. You go, you do that, and that, you do that, and that, and I'll do that, and that. So you just delegate those pieces of work between the team. Coming towards the end of your shift, maybe an hour before the end of your shift, you sit down then and you go through and make sure that the relief staff have done what needs to be done. So relief staff should never leave the floor not having completed the tasks or leaving all the paperwork to you. But they need a bit of guidance because they are relief. They're not there all the time. So they need a little bit of guidance and support around that as well. So ultimately what I'm saying to you all is that as a social care worker on the floor, you're responsible for you. And if you're the senior person on the floor, then you're responsible for the team. But that requires you to be a great delegator, and it requires you then to hold yourself and everyone else to account. And that's how we improve things when we're on the floor. We start with ourselves first, and then we spread it out after that. Thanks for that. See you next week.